The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals and do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW, Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers. Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi, this is Steel Revolution.
All right. Podcast listeners, welcome to Steel Revolution number 9.
This one's already going to hell.
Mike returns.
I got some words, but I'm not going to say them. I appreciate the votes for Douche of the Week. That was awesome.
Hey.
Thanks.
Came in third.
Wished I could have won.
No, who beat him out?
Uh,
The Trump supporters at the Rock Island County Democrat picnic. That's what it was.
okay. At least I got beat out by somebody worthy.
You were up there.
Oh, you're right there, man.
Hey, and
Was it tough?
I'm embarrassed. It took me a while when Rick said that one of the guys was dressed in a devil outfit, and one of our guys asked if he wanted water, and I'm just like, that's kind of dumb. Why would you ask me if he wanted water? And I didn't get it till well after we recorded.
All right. Well, thanks for the welcome. I appreciate it.
I had fun without you being here, actually. So
I'm sure you did.
You got a mic.
I did.
You'll have your own next time. I don't want you anywhere
get
near
a-
mine.
You get a mic when Mike's gone. All right, local news. We still got people out doing an organizing drive. Got people out on political, helping out, and coming up in the plant will be time. It'll be time for the United Way again. So hopefully we can line up a interview with our United Way labor liaison for next time. Other than that, Mike, I was having a hard time thinking of stuff that was coming up besides our Solidarity Nights at the Mallards will be coming up, so people need to be watching for that.
Yeah, Solidarity Nights at the Mallards, and then obviously our Toys for Tots campaign will be coming up end of October, beginning of November, so we'll get it out in the plant, so those of you that want to donate can donate.
All right, and USW news, I don't really have a whole lot. We got some put some audio in from Tom Conway here later on in the show, and then we'll have Mike talk about the Steelworker Safety Conference.
Yep.
Local area will bounce back and forth, but more into the Iowa and Illinois news. Governor Braindead has joined a coalition of coalition of governors from 21 states in filing a federal court complaint challenging the United States Department of Labor's new overtime rule. The new rule will more than double the minimum salary which qualifies for overtime pay for public and private workers. Look that up. So if you were a salaried worker, if you made $455 a week or less, you qualified for overtime. Now it goes up to $913 a week. So of course, Governor Braindead don't want anything for working people, so he has cited against it. Some of the other ones, states was Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Georgia, Indiana, Pence, for those of you keeping track, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, the only Democrat on there, Maine, which is LePage, brought him up in previous shows, Michigan, Snyder, Mississippi, Nebraska, which is Ricketts. So you Cubs fans,
Yep.
he's a good one. You guys ought to be proud. Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, Kasich, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Walker.
Yep.
So the one that stands out to me that's not on there is Illinois.
That's what I was going to say. Rauner come to the party late. I'm sure he'll be there.
He's too busy pouring $16 million of his own money into Illinois politics so he can get people to vote for with him. Let's talk about taxes. So, taxes are important. Paying your taxes, get you some public service. There is a 1% sales tax helping benefit Scott County schools and infrastructure projects with schools. The tax since approved in 1998 and then later went statewide in 2008. So you're looking at 380 million has gone to Davenport, Bettendorf, Northcott, and PV. Since 99, Davenport school districts receive more than 231 million, 109 since it went statewide. And so you're looking at projects like Fillmore School was able to add on and get a preschool class that was at the school. Tax funds also went to go to what's now called Mid-City High School, formerly known as the Kimberly Center, which used to be medical offices. So the money went into revamp those medical offices. Again, you got to get an interview to go to this school. It specializes in smaller class sizes, also has an on-site daycare, so kids trying to go to high school that have kids are still able to go and not drop out. Also allows schools to grow or expand when their enrollment is way up. Keep going with taxes. There is also right now coming up in November in Rock Island County a 1% sales tax referendum for public safety. The tax is projected to bring in about $7 million a year. That money would be used by the Sheriff's Department to replace an aging fleet of squad cars, have body cameras for all deputies, and upgrade its communication system, which, according to the news article, is well behind other communication systems for around the area. Currently, there's not even enough money that they've been putting off to even paint the jail, and then they're talking layoffs that if they don't get this money. Sheriff Bustos is pushing this. I believe the Quad City Federation of Labor supports this.
Yep.
He went on to, I'm going to say not really a quote because I don't think I didn't do exactly every line, but Sheriff Bustos pledges upon passage of this critical public safety issue that I will report each year how much revenue was collected, how much revenue was used, and he will get that down to the last dollar, dime, and penny. So sounds like it's worth paying your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you are a smart businessman.
Just like Trump. Yep.
And then you don't pay your taxes and you're praised for being smart. I do like everything that's coming out that if you like him for being smart and not paying taxes, you ought to have no problem with people that game other systems, whether it's welfare or whatever. You got to be fine. That's smart business. Looking at Robert Reich had a page or little thing where he talked to a Trump supporter, and he said, in 1976, when Trump was just starting his career, he had a net worth of $200 million. Most of that was from his father. The guy said, that proves my point. He's turned 200 million into 4.5 billion. He's a brilliant man. But if he had just put 200 million into an index fund and reinvested the dividends, he'd be worth 12 million today.
12 billion.
12 billion. Sorry.
Billion.
Thank you. The Trump supporter was silent. And then Robert Wright goes on to say he got about 850 million in tax subsidies from New York alone. Sorry, I lost my place. So yeah, just more silence. I said the guy, or then he went on to say he's not a businessman, he's a con man. It was at a coffee shop, so he said, hope you enjoy your coffee. So again, how smart is Trump? Took a minute. You guys don't have this stuff, but to fact check, since we're behind, the presidential debate. So grab what's which ironically comes off of a Fox News site.
Everything was true, right?
No, actually it wasn't.
Are you
it's
sure?
Funny. Yeah, it's funny. Well, it's like a local channel site though. That's their website. So it's Trump says he opposed the Iraq War, which was false. They found Trump said Hillary Clinton was involved in birtherism. False. Trump stop and frisk in New York was not ruled unconstitutional, which was false. Oh, here's one. Clinton called the TPP gold standard of trade deals, and which they said was true. Clinton in 2012 as Secretary of State, that the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal gets the gold standard in trade agreements. The trade deal wasn't yet finalized. Clinton announced she opposed the deal after it was signed. So, again, I think you want your public officials to listen to you and take into account your feelings on trade deals. So, I believe when you're dealing with two of the most unpopular presidential candidates, at least she's listening to people and changing her mind. Clinton said during the debate, Trump called climate change a hoax created by the Chinese, which was true. Trump also said, "I'm gonna cut taxes big league, and you're gonna raise taxes big league" into story, which was mostly false.
Yeah, but what does he have to back it up? I'm going to cut taxes. Okay. How you going to do it? It's going to be great. I'm going to cut taxes.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge, like my hands. Oh, he's gonna cut the taxes for himself and his friends. I mean, that's that's what's gonna happen.
Does he have friends?
Whoever he pays,
Okay.
and his kids.
Okay. Yeah, his kids. You're right.
And Melania. Trump also said, "You've been fighting ISIS for your adult life," to Clinton, which was false. Clinton had said Donald rooted for the housing crisis, which was mostly true. Trump, Ford is leaving their small car division, thousands of jobs leaving Michigan, leaving Ohio, which they said was false. In his opening question, the Republican nominee alleged that Ford was leaving the United States and cutting thousands of jobs while moving production to plants in Mexico. Ford is opening a new plant in Mexico, but they are not cutting jobs in the U.S. to do it.
But the sad part is they are moving most of their small cars that way.
Yeah. I mean, it's not good, but I guess you gotta. Again, though, but that doesn't follow Trump. You don't really have to know what you're talking about for him to open his mouth. Which I'm glad you started talking, Mike, because I was thinking this show is going down to where you're going to be in the 50 word range.
Well, since I didn't have that page, I really couldn't help you there. I was trying to help a little bit, but when you cut me out of a page, I'm just going to start making my own agenda, and we'll go off of that.
It's about time you did something.
Oh, really? Okay.
You sounded good on the last podcast.
Really? Really? Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it.
All right, now it would be time take a break and let's play find the audio from Tom Conway talking about Trump's use of foreign steel in his hotels.
Leaders in the steel manufacturing business say the industry is in crisis. Subsidized foreign companies and the dumping of product in America has cost thousands of American jobs. The future and stability of the industry certainly needs attention in this campaign season. Donald Trump has repeatedly stated the bad trade deals are the problem, although an investigation by Newsweek shows Trump is not a buy American guy after all. Minnesota taconite workers are furious with Trump after the report showed that 2 out of the last 3 projects on casinos and hotels, Trump has purchased and used cheap China steel. Industry leaders say this undercuts American jobs and contributes to the crisis that they face. For more on this, let's turn to Tom Conway. He's the Vice President of the United Steelworkers International. Mr. Conway, Tom, good to have you with us tonight.
Good to
There
be with
are a
you.
lot of union guys in this country that think that Donald Trump is on their side. How damaging do you think this report is, and does it really reveal what the guy's all about when it comes to wage earners?
Look, this report, people need to read this Newsweek account closely because it really points out the height of hypocrisy that Trump has going on here. And we believe that you ought to judge him not by his rhetoric and not by his newfound interest in trade issues, but by how he conducts himself and how he conducts his business. And so in 2008 and 2009, he stands up giant buildings in Las Vegas and in Chicago, and he works at a way of getting the steel through a series of companies and holding companies and shell companies and through the British Virgin Islands, and he eventually gets his steel out of Shanghai and he gets his aluminum out of China, and he works very hard to disguise that, to bring it in. And so we've known what he does with his clothing line and his suits and his ties and his family's business and his daughter's clothing line and his wife's jewelry. You should pay attention to that. That is the heart of what this man is. And so when the country is struggling in really the depths of the recession in 2008, 2009, and workers in the aluminum industry and the steel industry are on the street and their mills are closed, he's off doing this purchase in China and now comes out and says, oh, I'm going to make America great again. I mean, this is a circus act if we've ever seen one.
Tom, isn't this the story that every union household in America has to hear? Because there are surveys that show that he has tapped into your rank and file, and they believe some of his rhetoric. What about that?
Look, this is a fight that our union in particular has been doing for decades, and we have been at the forefront of it. And our union members understand that. But they are tired of this system. This is a broken system. And he has tapped into that angst. And if he were genuine about it, it would be one thing. But he's not genuine about it. And he's just trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. And you can see it by his own conduct. Now, look, we've had trouble with this administration, with prior administrations on trade, and trade needs fixing in America. And Clinton says she's not going to sign the TPP, and we believe she's going to stand by that. Not now, not during a lame duck, not after she's elected. And we need changes on this, and it's not just TPP. But Trump is lying to the nation, and he's lying to a segment of people who have struggled because of these trade deals. And these trade deals are very bad for our country.
All right, Tom Conway, Vice President of the United Steelworkers International. Tom, good to have you with us tonight. Thanks for explaining all that. I appreciate it.
You're going to learn to be true dodgeballers. Then you've got to learn the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. If you master the 5 Ds, no amount of balls on earth can hit you.
All right, back after the break. So Trump, the tax dodger, draft dodger, calling soldiers with PTSD weak. Yeah, I had to change that. I changed it on mine.
Oh, you gave us the bad copies.
Yeah,
Okay,
I made a
gotcha.
typo.
Well, of course, he gets the good ones, and we get the crap here.
Again, showing that you're a good businessman by cutting out on your taxes, which could support your schools, and
That makes him smart.
that's right. I should attach everything to businessman, and then I could be smart.
Yep.
The Vice presidential debate. Anybody? You guys check that out?
I watched it. I got bored way too quick. It seemed as though it took Pence a while to realize that he was actually Trump's running mate. I mean, it sounded like throughout the debate, more and more he realized, I'm this asshole's running mate.
Took him a while to wake up or
Yeah.
move from all that makeup on
Yep.
his face.
Yep.
I was watching the baseball playoffs. I'm sorry.
Playoffs hasn't started yet.
Well, a wild card was going on, I think, wasn't it?
I don't know.
We'll edit this
Just
out.
Sean, that was last night.
Just
the
feel
debate
lucky.
was the night before.
Yeah, American League was going.
Just
Dickhead.
just feel feel lucky that the Cubs are in it.
We'll edit that out.
Just feel lucky that we let you talk at this point.
You're gonna lose your mic privileges. But yeah, love it when we'll have some more audio here and that shows it. But Tim Kaine said stuff that Donald Trump said, and just Pence would just nod his head and no, that's nonsense. No, he never said that.
That's not what we're about. I think
Yeah.
he said that about 15 times.
Oh, it was great. So fact checkers had let's see, PolitiFact was weighing the responses and the statements by the vice presidential candidates, in which they rated 78.9% of Tim Kaine's responses as true or mostly true, while only 30.7% of the statements Governor Pence made were true or mostly true, keeping it with Trump to say, you don't have to know what you're talking about to run for president. All right, let's take one more break. Play some audio from the debate.
Let's start with not praising Vladimir Putin as a great leader. Donald Trump and Mike Pence have said he's a great leader. And Donald Trump has...
No, we haven't.
Putin's been a very strong leader for Russia.
Vladimir Putin has been a stronger leader in his country than Barack Obama has been in this country.
Donald Trump, on the other hand, didn't know that Russia had invaded the Crimea.
Oh, that's nonsense.
He's not going to go into Ukraine. All right, you can mark it down, you can put it down, you can take it anywhere you want. He's already there, isn't he?
Donald Trump has said it. Deportation force. They want to go house to house, school to school, business to business, and kick out 16 million people. And I cannot believe...
You're going to have a deportation force.
Donald Trump and I would never support legislation that punished women.
Should the woman be punished for having an abortion?
There has to be some form of punishment.
More nations should get nuclear weapons.
Don't put
try
words
to
into
defend
my
that.
mouth. Well, he never said that.
Wouldn't you rather, in a certain sense, have Japan have nuclear weapons?
Saudi Arabia
we
nuclear
have
weapons?
Saudi Arabia, absolutely.
Donald Trump said keep them out if they're Muslim. Mike Pence put a program in place to keep...
Total and complete shutdown of Muslims.
He is asking everybody to vote for somebody that he cannot defend.
Back after that great break. It was the greatest. It was the hugest.
Sean, you've lost your mic.
This is the best podcast in the world. Did you see Baldwin do him on?
Yeah.
There ain't anybody better on Saturday Night Live than Alec Baldwin.
Is that the same guy with the sweaty balls?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's like who I used to talk like on this podcast when we were started going. Hi guys, I'd like to talk to you. All right.
What do you mean used to?
Around the world, in Canada, the Liberal government has broke a promise to being fair to workplaces across Canada, as it kills a proposed legislation aimed at banning replacement workers. An anti-scab bill C-234. The Liberals shot it down before even giving it a chance to be talked about in Parliament. Canadian Liberals obviously going more towards the Republican side, as we would have in the States, in which I think what you see with our voters or our country are frustrated with the Democrats and the Republicans. Canada does have actual three-party, so they have the New Democratic Party, which is more of a Labor Party. So what I think they're far ahead of us with some of their laws, like this one that they actually do have in other areas of Canada, and with their political system having three parties, they're far ahead of us.
I agree with you, but I also think that they see the stuff that's happening to us and know that ripple effect's coming. So sometimes they're able to block stuff sooner.
Other news, going back to tax dodgers. In case you missed it a while back, the European Commission ordered Ireland to collect more than $14 billion in back taxes from Apple. Apple taking advantage of a tax loophole in Ireland where they have some phantom headquarters over there. European Commission is investigating Luxembourg's tax agreements with Amazon and McDonald's. Also, last year, European Court of Justice struck down tax advantages to companies and their subsidiaries selling e-books through Europe. Also last year, Britain enacted a new tax to target profits siphoned off of international companies, nicknamed without much subtlety the Google tax. Here in the States, in the 1950s, corporations contributed about $3 out of every $10 in federal revenue. Today, because according to Trump, more lies that the U.S. corporations pay more taxes than they ever have, pay $1 for every $10, despite their reliance on federal investments to start and expand their businesses. All of that was pulled from an article that Elizabeth Warren put in the New York Times. On to the corporations are coming. I'm going to start with a good news story, which is the Vikings new stadium, U.S. Bank Stadium, was built with 14.4 tons of American-made steel. Total steel budget for the stadium was
14.4 tons. That'd be next to nothing.
That's a comma.
There's a comma in there, Roy. We need to teach you how to read.
Oh, thanks for helping me out.
14.4 thousand, or 14,400 tons. There you go.
Right.
Now we got it right.
I'll edit that out.
Thanks, Mike.
Well, you gonna edit it out to make Roy look good?
Absolutely.
I kind of figured that. Expected that out of you.
Total steel budget for the stadium, $82 million. I got that one right. Including purchase, fabrication, and erection. Of that, $77 million went directly to American-made steel. That's the good news. Bad news. Got Jonathan Rizzolo. Mike, I don't know if you guys talked about him while you were at the safety conference, but a Valparaiso USW member killed at U.S. Steel slab storage yard. This is a sprawling mill that stretches across 7 miles of Lake Michigan Lakeshore at 1 North Broadway in Gary. He was a maintenance worker, Navy veteran, married, father of 2. His death comes weeks after protests that U.S. Steel and the consulting group McKinsey & Company were making the mill less safe by laying off and demoting maintenance workers. The United Steelworkers Union says cuts were putting workers at risk for putting off preventative maintenance, and also work orders were piling up. USW is appealing the layoffs of the through a third-party arbitrator, arguing the company violated the contract and threatening workplace safety. So I think we should take a little moment of silence here and all right, back after that moment of silence and back to listen to what Mike has to say about the Steelworkers Safety Conference.
So a couple of weeks ago, there was a group of 8 of us that went out to the Steelworkers Conference. It was about 3 weeks ago. This is the Steelworkers Safety Conference where they have morning sessions where people such as the Secretary of Labor, other people in OSHA, MSHA, members of our board get up and discuss safety around all of our industries, what's happening, what's coming up. And then there's also several classes you can attend every afternoon. There was 5 days of classes you could attend. One thing I kind of wanted to talk about today was OSHA's new rule on injury reporting. And in going to this class... Thanks, Roy.
Sorry.
Appreciate that. Anyway, in going into this class, It's talking about a rule. OSHA came up with it back in May. They intended for it to become the new rule in August. It got pushed back to November. It's basically a rule on injury reporting and retaliation on the company. The short of it is it says if you get injured, as soon as you notice the injury or are aware of it, you need to report it. We have a lot of companies out there that if you get injured and say you don't report it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that's considered a late report. Or if you don't notice it for a day, that's considered a late report. Well, then a company may discipline you or it may negatively impact you in some way on your record. Companies can't do that. OSHA can be called. OSHA can be brought in. And this isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card for the employees either by any means. When you have an injury, you need to report it. We need to find out what's injuring our members, how we can fix those, how we can put countermeasures in so nobody gets injured. One of the other things that go into effect with this law is the electronic reporting. So many of the larger companies, such as the one we work for, will have to start electronically filing all their injuries, I believe by February or March of every year, and then those records will become public. So like what's called our OSHA 300 log, right now any employee of the company has the right to request it at any time. What will happen in the near future is all that information will be collected by the OSHA. It could be the state OSHA, like ours is iOSHA, and then it'll be posted online after such a period of time. Personal information will be taken off of it, but you can see each individual industry company, how their people are getting hurt, how their people are having to stay out of work, who's losing limbs, who's getting killed. It's gonna keep the companies more honest. But in the end, we've got to be honest about our injuries too. We've got to, as soon as we see them, we need to be reporting them. We need to be getting them to our employer to fix the hazards. And as we say as steelworkers, fix the hazards, don't blame the victims. So when we get hurt, report them, and hopefully this system will start working better, and we won't have people getting disciplined or fired for getting hurt at work. Nobody wants to get hurt at work and then add the insult to the injury, no pun intended, but you add the insult into the injury by, I get 3 days off for getting hurt. So hopefully this new rule, and we'll be rolling it out, and unfortunately a lot of our locals will have to test it here shortly to see, what may come of it. Now I'm sure there'll be some locals that'll test it quicker than others, but I'm sure OSHA will be busy with it. So that's what I learned at the safety conference. I mean, that was a big takeaway for me. It was a huge class. I think that was the one that I personally learned the most in, brought back, because we do have members that get hurt here. We do have members that get disciplined for getting injured. I know many companies say, you didn't follow this procedure, or we have companies that were in our course that they said, well, we dug back into your history 3 days on camera and you didn't follow 2 procedures, so we're going to give you discipline for not following those, not necessarily for you getting hurt. That's still considered retaliation or bullying according to the new OSHA rule. So we'll just have to see how it folds out. I'm sure there's money going into this. I'm sure there's companies fighting it. But as of right now, it's there to work for us. We need to work with it. So.
Yeah, again, you said that, the important thing is when you know. When you know, you got to report it. You can't knowingly know that you're hurt and then report it, a day later or whatever. When as soon as you know, you need to report.
Yeah, it's about, I use the example of somebody getting burned. You may not know right away that you're burned. It may not hurt. You may not feel it, but maybe say that night in the shower or the next morning when you're getting up for work, you feel a little pain and you see the red spot. Once you're aware of it, report it. That's all we can do.
All right. And speaking of safe work conditions and things of that nature, right now we're moving to a interview that we recorded with Nicole from the Quad Cities Coalition of Worker Justice, and to talk about some of the issues that is going on with Brant Construction. So right now I'll ask Sean to play the interview. Hi, it's Roy with the podcast, Steel Revolution podcast for the steel workers out of Bettendorf. Got you on the phone with Sean Geisens and Mike Nicholas.
Hi, Nicole.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
Good.
So thanks again for coming on. Nicole is with the Quad Cities Coalition for Worker Justice, and if you would take a minute to tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Nicole. I am a striking worker from Brant Construction out of Milan, Illinois. Was hired on as a labor apprentice. Worked there for almost 2 years. Did odds and ends. Didn't really know a whole lot in the construction area. I took, before I was employed through Brant, I was at an HCCTP class. It was a class sponsored by IDOT. It's Highway Career Construction Training Program. So Brant hired me on through that class. I went to work with them mid-July of 14. Sent to a few jobs. My last job for 2014 was in Altona, Illinois, and there I did some operators work, and then a job before that I did some tying rebar. And then in 2015 I was sent to Hennepin, Illinois, at the Marcos Energy Plant, driving a cement truck. I had previously told the owner, Todd Brant, before I went to Hennepin, that I did not have any prior training for to drive a truck like that. I have no CDL, no knowledge of it at all. That's fine. You don't need your CDL. Okay, so I went to work, drove the truck. I had someone in there with me, but he wasn't a certified trainer. And I drove the truck from April of 15 until November of 15, when I went on strike due to having them driving me a cement truck and putting me and the public in danger.
Yeah, you guys are on strike, right, for unsafe working conditions, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and I know the group here has been going around and talking to other local businesses. Saw on you guys' Facebook page talking to was it Brandy at Skeleton Key Antiques, that business in Rock Island had lost 48% of their revenue during the Brant 6th Avenue, was it the sewer project, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then also that automotive expert assigned or business down there had signed an appeal for justice that you guys got going around down there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
About the appeal?
Yeah, and then and any of the effects that that happened to the businesses there in downtown Rock Island.
I know on the 6th Avenue sewer project, a lot of the businesses down there were losing business, and they, like I said, it was about 48%. People couldn't get into their business. Customers didn't have access to get there, so therefore they lost the business. The appeal is more of something just for us to show that we have support. That's all that it is. So we ask, businesses or churches, people, political people, just to sign it to show that, hey, yeah, we do support you in what you are doing. It's not a huge issue, but it's something for us. And to show, when we do go to other people, like, hey, so-and-so signed on, will you sign on? Well, if he signs on, I'll sign on. And we've had that. And so, we do have quite a bit of backing and political and clergy support, so that's kind of what the appeal does and helps us out.
Okay, and I know that had seen that you guys were going around and talking to other cities that might be having projects done by Brant.
Yeah. You know, we try if we know that if Brant has been to, okay, like Monmouth, we're in Monmouth bannering and handbilling right now. I've been there for almost 2 months, if not a little more. You know, before we bannered there, we had went to the city council, to the mayor, and to city administrator. We told them about our issue with Brant. They hired them anyway. Knew their hands were tied on one because it had the motor fuel tax, but the other one they still hired them. Well, with that being said, you know, we asked him to sign the appeal for justice. He said he's not going to sign it. So we had been bannering after they gave them the job. Then we went back at him with the appeal, and he said he wasn't going to sign it because we wouldn't leave. So, I mean, we've been to Monmouth, Peoria, Milan, Rock Island, Bettendorf, Davenport, Muscatine, Savannah, Aledo. God, that's just to name a few.
Okay, that the one project that is going on then there in Monmouth. Do you know anything about that? Is that project behind, like
They
similar
say
to the?
project? It did get behind, but it is finished. We are kind of looking into that right now at ourselves, looking to see what's done and what's not done, or just trying to see what we can find in there that, you know, and why they were behind, or, you know, we know that was behind. I don't think Aledo got behind, and then the Knoxville job is definitely behind.
Okay, so that was one in Knoxville, Illinois, that you said is definitely behind.
Yeah.
All right, can you give us some information on that project?
That's a bridge project. I don't know a whole lot about it because I was never working on bridges like that. So there's not a whole lot I can give you on that one, but that's about all I know. I do know that they're behind. Their manpower is down, so they're trying to bounce back and forth between jobs to be able to get the work done.
Yeah, Nicole, I live down there, and it is horrible. They're way behind on schedule. So
you know, and the thing is, like, it's not the workers that, you know, we're trying to help them. We're trying to do this for them.
Yep.
So it's not them. It's the upper management.
I agree.
Upper management doesn't care. They, you know, they knew I had very little training going into working for them.
Yep.
You know, so it's just like they want the manpower to get the work done. They don't, you know, but they reap all the benefits from it.
Yep.
You know, but
so Nicole,
you know, as long as go ahead.
I'm sorry. We have quite a few members that span a pretty good area. So if you could talk to our members a little bit about what can we do, are there things that we can do to help you?
We need support backing. We need go to the city councils. You know, go talk to the mayor. Go talk to the people that are in charge of these jobs. If you hear that Brant's going to bid, stand up, tell them that you don't want them. Let them know the stories that you have heard. You know, we try to get to as many as possible, but, you know, and we know everyone else does too. You know, with having kids in sports, it's kind of hard to bounce back and forth every day. And so if we get the word out ahead of them, we already cut it off.
Because I know, for one, I live in Knox County, and we have Steelworker Local down there, and Brant bids on everything in Knox County. So it's just good to know that we need to go to our council meetings. We need to get as many local union members there as possible, and to, like you said, tell the stories of what you're telling, and get the word out.
And it's not even like union, non-union issue. You know, it's just like a safety issue.
Agreed.
You know, and that's, you know, Brant is non-union. You know, and people on Facebook we see that are making it union, non-union issue, but it's not. Safety is everywhere.
Agreed.
You know, so we just want, because if you got me driving a cement truck, you don't know I'm coming down the street.
Yep.
You have no idea. You just are assuming that I have my CDL.
Correct.
And I run into you because I wasn't trained properly. I'm held. Brant's not going to back me. Sure ain't going to pay my bills. You know, they're just going to do what they need to do, and I'm going to be gone. That's what they're going to do.
I mean, we had Tracy Leone on a while ago, and I know she knows a little bit about what's going on. But Brandt also owns, what is it, High Brand or whatever. Do you know any of the other? We know your situation. Do you know any of these other situations that were safety issues that Brandt put their people in that were unsafe?
Brandt's subsidiary company, High Brand, is based out of Muscatine, Iowa. Another striking worker, he's from High Brand, and he was working on a GTC building, I think, over in Muscatine. They were working up on the building, and they had no harnesses. So they're walking on dummy planks where planks that aren't tied down. So if you step on one side, it's going to flip over. We have pictures of that, and everything I say and everything that anyone else that you guys talk to say, we all have affidavits, so everything that we say is the truth. No harnesses. They were up there without drinking water when it's 120 degrees. We had to go up there when there's a storm. There's been lightning seen. They get back up there. Every company has got it. I mean, they got Mill Creek Mining. I don't know anything about that. I work for Mad Dog. That's the driving, their cement company. So for High Brand, that's all I know on Dakota's part. And he said he had witnessed a worker. He had his harness on. He got into a skid steer. Well, he got out to move something, and his harness caught on the levers. Well, when you put the arm up, it's supposed to kill all controls. Well, it didn't, because the kill switch was broken and it was never fixed. When he got out, his harness caught. It spun him around. He ended up getting a compound fracture in his arm, and I'm not for sure exactly what else.
Right. I think Tracy did talk about that in one of our past shows. But I'd like to thank you for coming on. Let us know when you guys got something going on, and we'll help you any way with that we can. And also, you're absolutely right. It doesn't matter union, non-union. Worker issues and safety is everybody's responsibility and problem. So.
Okay. Thank you for having me on.
All right.
Thanks,
you very much.
Nicole.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
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 Back after the interview. All right. We want to thank Nicole for being on. Obviously, she's very brave to strike for not only herself, safe working conditions for coworkers and anybody that's out and about with around the construction area that Brandt's working, and also for local businesses supporting them. So.
And we need to do anything we can to help them. So if we get something, we'll mention it on this or put it in one of our other media avenues.
Yeah, so we're at the time of the show. It is Douche of the Week. We need to get some nominees and pick.
So what's the first nominee, Roy? What are you going to bring?
We're going to bring Brandt Construction.
Okay, Sean, you got one? No, now Sean's microphone shy.
U.S. Steel in Gary.
Okay.
Another one, Liberals in Canada shooting down anti-scab law, not putting that in. Donald Trump.
He's on there every week, though.
Brain dead.
Those are too easy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw another one in there. Sean Geisens. I gotta do it for the comment made last week and the awesome hell he's put me through in the past 5-6 days. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and throw his name up there, although he can't win.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So what do we think?
I think that's bad. He just said you can't win that.
He can't win Douche of the Week.
That's setting the bar low.
I got third. He's got to come in at least third or fourth out of this group. So
yeah, I think that's down at least around 5 out of all the people listed. But number 1 for the week.
My vote's Brandt Construction.
Mm-hmm. Mine too. So congratulations, Brandt.
Douche of the Week.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Number 9.
We'll see you later.
This has been Steel Revolution. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steel Revolution Podcast. Questions or comments, email us steelrevolution105@gmail.com. Steel Revolution is a production of Steelworkers 105, Bettendorf, Iowa. Steel Revolution. Steel Revolution.